Today we're here to talk about Mahi X, and it's an open innovation challenge that seeks solutions to pressing agricultural issues in Hawaii. As part of Mahi X, we're excited to announce today that Kamehameha Schools and the Ulupono Initiative are investing a total of $50,000 across 4 partners who are poised to change the future of agriculture in Hawaii. Mahi X is modeled after the X Prize and is one of 3 programs under our Mahi Ola initiative. Mahi X contributes to our commitment to supporting our local farmers, agricultural education, and innovative solutions to improve food security. It's a challenge to the community to revolutionize the ag sector and reimagine how we approach farming, sustainability, and food systems through a new idea, a method, a partnership, or a product. This year was the inaugural year for Mahi X, so we did a soft introduction by polling the ag community at the 2019 Hawaii Ag Conference. We're proud to partner with the Ulupono Initiative to advance sustainability, resilience, and growth in Hawaii, and you'll hear from them shortly. We're also excited to introduce our newest partners to you today, 4 ag industry innovators who have creative solutions to share, and I have the privilege of introducing 2 of them to you. Hawaii Island Farm Trails will receive a grant to expand its Farm Trails app and website that will promote local agriculture, sustainable food production, and sustainable agri-tourism. Hawaii Island Farm Trails is a 2016 Mahi Matchup winner who is redefining how visitors in the local community can support a more resilient food future for our state. You'll also hear from the Kohala Center. They'll receive a grant to form an agricultural housing policy working group focused on formulating an action plan that will facilitate the development of agricultural housing on Hawaii Island. A leader in research, education, and conservation, the Kohala Center has made tremendous progress in strengthening our ag industry and helping our communities to thrive. Now I'll turn it over to our partner, Amy Hennessy, who's the Senior Vice President of Communications and External Affairs for the Ulupono Initiative.
We are so proud to be a partner in Mahi X with Kamehameha Schools. We've been a part of the Mahi program for many years now, and a key part of our mission is to increase local food production, which we strongly believe is central to not only making Hawaii more self-sufficient, but also resilient in the face of supply chain disruptions like we've seen with COVID-19. Especially now, we know that efforts like the Mahi X Innovation Program are essential to creating more opportunity for our local farmers. We've already seen so many inspiring ideas and proposals, and I'm really excited to share 2 that Ulupono Initiative is funding with Kamehameha Schools. The first is a partnership with the Hawaii County Prosecutor's Office and Smartwater CSI to tackle a critical challenge for our local farmers, which is ag theft. Sadly, our farmers lose millions of dollars a year from equipment being stolen, crops being damaged, and lost revenue from not being able to harvest as a result. So we really believe that this technology will be important, and you'll hear more about that shortly. In addition, we're excited to fund the Hawaii Island Agricultural Partnership for a grant with the Hamakua Institute to do a study and a conversation to understand the path forward for an Ag Innovation Center for East Hawaii.
My name is Shane Muramaru. I'm an investigator for the Office of the Prosecuting Attorney, County of Hawaii. First off, I want to thank Kamehameha Schools and the Ulupono Initiative for this generous grant. We're partnering up with Smartwater CSI to introduce to Hawaii. First time I know locally, I know the federal government has been using it for crime prevention purposes and for aiding in investigations for asset thefts. Smartwater produces this mineral-based, non-toxic, inorganic traceable liquid that contains a unique forensic signature. So each sample has its own signature. It's almost like DNA, which has been highly successful in reducing crimes like burglaries, robberies, asset thefts. Most of the places that have been using them in the United States, local governments, law enforcement, their burglaries and their theft cases have just dropped. A lot of cases didn't even go to court. It just kind of slowed down on its own. And they've been attributing it to Smartwater CSI. This technology came to me from a farmer. She was actually from the USDA, and their battery is getting ripped off at their farm. And the workers go there, they cannot work. They got to go buy a battery. So the whole day is shot, so, and I was talking to her about different crime prevention tips and things. And I said, hey, try to go on the internet. And so she did. And she found this. She goes, hey, what is this stuff? And I read it, contacted Smart Water, and then I found out so much more about it. So, like our office a few years ago, they listened to the farmers and ranchers from our island. And they, along with the Hawaii Department of Ag and a whole bunch of other people, introduced the Agricultural Crimes Investigator Program. I was fortunate to be selected for this temporary position. And, I have a somewhat agricultural background in my past because I'm old, so I do plenty of jobs. But other than being a police officer for many years, I used to work in the ag industry, sugar plantation, dole pineapple, along with smaller stuff with my family, mac nuts, coffee, whatever. But I do know that farming and ranching is not easy. Farmers they always have to worry about so many things, weather, pests, and then to have equipment and produce stolen from them, and people don't realize that, farmers and ranchers, they don't get paid until they produce. And that's really important. And for our food safety, if we're buying stolen products because it's a good deal, we don't know where it's coming from, So, so I hope Smart Water CSI seems like a game changer for our office, law enforcement, and our farmers and our community in general. Smart Water CSI is going to offer a discounted rate for all Hawaii County residents, so they can use it at their home and other businesses.
Aloha mai kako. My name is Kalisi Mausio, and I'm the co-founder of Hawaii Farm Trails along with Angela, my sister. And we run our farm here in Hilo called Kaiwa Farms, which we started in 2016 when we won the Mahi X matchup competition. So we grow an educational agroforest with an overstory of breadfruit and an understory of culturally significant crops. And like Shane said, farming is not easy. So our interest in exploring agritourism stems from the need of farmers to have multiple income streams to support themselves, right? So we are also interested in supporting agritourism as an alternative to conventional mass tourism. This comes at a time when farms and the agricultural industry needs to be elevated and integrated into models that are less extractive and support our communities. This allows us to focus on food security and preserve the sense of place that our rural communities, have that makes these islands so special. So the Hawaii Farm Trails app is a promotional product that helps users discover farmers markets, and agricultural events. It's meant to be a one-stop shop that provides that information in one place, that is interactive and helps people to navigate to these locations, right? As you would use with Yelp, you can see what businesses or what farms or farmers markets are open, what's in your area, figure out how to get there. It'll help you with all of that. So we're really grateful to Mahi X. Mahalo nui for the opportunity. This allows us to expand the farm to table component of the app, which is a really important one that our customers value and would really like to have that information readily made available to them. And it will expand to include community supported agricultural operations, as well as feature farmer video stories that help people understand and connect to the farmers and be able to see them in person through these videos, but also to study the impacts of the pandemic. In fact, we're already visiting farms and we're already recording their tours, which is part of a subscription box of farm products that we just launched this week. So you guys are the first to hear, that essentially really brings the farms to your table. So it's a farm to table experience, but given the situation that we're in right now, it was a pivot, a way to adapt and to be able to still promote and support these farmers. So for example, you know, if a customer signs up for a year, they are essentially supporting about 50 farmers, because every month it changes and it features a different farmer every month, different farmers. So that's an example of the type of videography that we get support for, and which we are grateful for.
So thank you, Kamehameha Schools, for this award. And I think that, you know, today's challenging times have prompted people working across Hawaii's agricultural sector to rethink how to support the development of local food systems that are not just economically viable, but are also socially, ecologically, and culturally responsive and resilient. And we must begin by crafting solutions that contribute to providing good quality, locally grown food to all residents of Hawaii. And there's many pathways that can facilitate access to good local food for all, but working with farmers to facilitate production is one of them. And being able to adequately and reliably staff farming operations is a challenge that's continuously mentioned by farmers. And in some cases, staffing is the challenge that would determine a farm's ability or willingness to scale up. So having access to sufficient farm labor is in part dependent on the availability of farm worker housing, and specifically homes that are located nearby agricultural areas. So as a recipient of a Mahi X prize, the Kohala Center will conduct follow-on research on the development of housing for those working in the agricultural sector. And this work will build on a March 2020 report that the center completed that identified some of the barriers and opportunities to the development of farm worker housing. And future work will focus on 2 identified next steps. The first is bringing together experts in 5 subject areas to further discuss how to dismantle some of the barriers facing farm worker housing. And those subject areas are financing and access to capital, infrastructure solutions, legislative advocacy, efficient permitting, and alternative housing solutions. These subject areas we identified at a meeting that we held with stakeholders in the industry in February of this year. And we already have people on board and willing to help us in that discussion. And second, we will identify specific geographies on Hawaii Island where investment in farm worker housing could facilitate sustained or increased production and simply allow farm workers to live in closer proximity to their jobs. So it's our hope that we can identify pathways and opportunities to increase the availability of farm worker housing and also facilitate its development, and thereby work to reduce one of the barriers that's facing farmers today across the islands, which is access to labor. So I just want to thank Kamehameha Schools and the County of Hawaii for being so supportive of this work. And back to you guys.
Mahalo, Nicole. We had Dennis Fleming with the Hamakua Institute, but I think he's having some trouble too. So let's hear from Leanne Okamoto of Kamehameha Schools, and she will discuss the efforts to develop an Ag Innovation Center in East Hawaii.
Mahalo, Crystal. Aloha mai kako. My name is Leanne Okamoto. I'm an asset manager for Kamehameha Schools. And I'm fortunate to be working with Dennis and the Hamakua Institute on this project, so I can share a little bit of information. So the Hamakua Institute is facilitating a Hawaii Ag study in partnership with the Hawaii Island Agricultural Partnership, as well as the Hawaii Island Food Alliance. The Hawaii Island Ag Partnership, HIAP, is a unique public-private partnership that tries to incorporate all of the interests within the ag sector of Hawaii Island into a collective body to grow the sector in a collaborative and coordinated way. This not only includes farms, but all types of agribusinesses, agriculture support agencies, nonprofits, universities, extension workers, and others trying to help agriculture thrive on the island. The Mahi X funds are being used to facilitate alignment of agricultural development efforts by leveraging resources towards a realistic collective vision for agriculture and food security in the future. It also will be used to build a shared understanding of the socioeconomic ecosystem that shapes the effectiveness of agricultural development efforts on the island, and establish effective mechanisms for sharing data and lessons learned to make sure all of these efforts can continuously improve. The innovation behind this is two approaches to agricultural development that are being utilized under this grant. The first innovation is a concept known by many as collective impact. And the partnership is modeled after the Next Generation Sector Partnership, which is being established in locations across Hawaii and the state and the US. These partnerships emphasize collaborative effort between those in a particular industry and support organizations and government agencies. The second innovation is what is known as using market system development. This is a systemic approach to economic development that is focused on understanding the market forces and market players in a particular sector of the economy and identifying how specific coordinated actions can remove some of those systemic constraints. So the Mahi X funds gives the partnership the resources to work collaboratively with others in the ag sector and to gather and analyze agricultural data. And we look forward to continuing to move those partnerships forward. Mahalo.